Hi, I'm Zale with PZCherokee Fine Art, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a realistic portrait using graphite pencils. The pencils I use are by Derwent, and the paper is by Strathmore, and the links to those will be in the video description below. So without any further ado, let's get started. The supplies I'm using are graphic drawing pencils by Derwent and a mechanical pencils for the outline, a toilet paper tissue, Q-tip, and a blending stump for shading, an electrical eraser and a kneaded eraser for adding details, and a brush for sweeping away debris like pencil shavings or eraser shavings and things like that. Alright, so the first thing is, of course, I have my outline. The outline is very important because you want to make sure that your proportions are accurate and that, at the end of it, it should pretty much kind of look like the person, right? And of course, I also have my basic details in, like the ear, the nose, the eyes, where the eyebrows and lips, and all those parts will be. I want to pause here for just a moment to show that there's a basis layer of shading for the skin, but not very much detail yet. Here I'm pretty much moving in with adding more contrast using the kneaded eraser and the Q-tip to blend out certain areas, mostly around the eye, of course, and then using the kneaded eraser to also create small little highlights, as you can see in front of the eyeball and the cheeks. Here you can see a little bit better the difference that it makes. I also use that kneaded eraser for that highlight on the lip right there, and then just continuing to add details. Closer view of the blending technique, I use small dark circles and then smudge over that with the toilet paper tissue or the Q-tip, or oftentimes both. For creating tattoos, I'll write out the tattoo first and then blend over it naturally with the rest of the skin so that the outline will still be showing underneath. Hair for many people is one of the most complicated parts of doing a portrait because it can come in so many styles and textures. So the way I try to think of it is as abstract shapes. So if you look at the top, you'll see small ovals, and then I just go over the ovals to darken them a little bit, and that just creates the effect of lighting. But I don't try to do individual strands because it's too time consuming and it's going to look stiff. You'll have a few strands, but usually at the edges. An 8 or 9B pencil is normally the darkest in your set and can be used for getting the blackest areas. As you'll notice, hair is quite time consuming. I think it's one of the most time consuming parts of a piece. So take your time with it and be prepared for that. This happens mostly with the most textured areas of the drawing, which is normally like fabrics and hairs of any kind. You'll also notice this with the beard. This also happened with the collar of his jacket, which was made of cotton, I believe, but it's very time consuming. I'm glad that I can focus in on the ear here because the ear is where a lot of what is happening all over the piece is happening in one concentrated area, such as getting the darkest shadows placed. The highlighted areas are popping out with the kneaded eraser as well as the other tools, and just pretty much bringing about as much contrast and detail in as small a space as possible. The beard is pretty much the same process as the rest of the piece. I use small dark circles with my 8 and 9B pencils, and I pretty much try to make it as black as possible where the shadows are going to be. As you can see, there's some white spaces that I left open. That's because I know that there's going to be a little bit of light left in those areas, because the light for this particular piece is coming in front of the subject. So it's coming in front of him. So I wanted the light to pretty much be in front, like underneath the lips and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the process. Of course, I use my kneaded eraser to add highlights and just do as many layers as I see necessary. And that concludes the tutorial. These are just a few final touch-ups. I just wanted to share the most basic parts of my particular drawing process, and I hope that you're able to take something from it. Thank you so much for watching.